what we're going to have to do ultimately, though, we can't deal with the white God or the black God. The white God and the black God is full of shit. That's what we dealing with, the nature. We dealing with self. If all else fail, believe in yourself. If all else fail, know of yourself. When people ask me if I believe in God, I say it's irrelevant because it's belief, and to believe is to be indecisive. The only thing I have any true knowledge about is self, because I've been around him for at least 31 years. I went around his son 31 times. I can tell you about the life and times of Brother Polight, more than I can tell you about a God that you had to teach me about. If I could just been born with the knowledge of God and then use that text as a navigation system, I'd have been all right. But there's nobody on planet Earth that was born with the knowledge of God until they were indoctrinated. And then they switched religions. And then they switched sects. And then they switched denominations. So God is a trick to black people. And the biggest trick on black people is not the white God, is that the black God exists. Is that now he has white woolly hair and feet burnt like brass. And all the while, if you can get me to contemplate the race of a God, you make me confess to the reality of one that never even existed in the first place. Because they know relativity is everything to stories. So if you make the deity of that story look like us, it's going to work. So they'll tell you, it don't matter what race he is. It doesn't matter what race he is. It doesn't matter what culture he's from. But then I ask you, should black America really accept a white Jesus, understanding the white race? Well, this would mean that God came in a personage of the white race to rule over black people. Why would our God come in a personage of the race that is raped, castrated, and pillaged us? Why would our God come in a personage of the oppressor? Why would our God do something like that? I'm going to ask another question. Would we have known God had we not been enslaved? Would we have received this Bible? No. We have been espoused to the Bible in light of slavery, which would suggest to us that I should appreciate slavery as much as I appreciate God, because they come at the same exact time. Had we not been in America, we not have no Bible, no ancient culture. What was we doing? And if you ask the average person that's religious, who was you worshiping before you got that Bible? What's the solution? Hold on. The solution is to go back to antiquity. If you go back and you ask anybody dealing with that Bible, what or who was you worshiping before that Bible? We was worshiping multiple gods, as they say. We ain't call them gods. And guess what those gods look like? Guess who they look like? They look like ourselves. It could have been Yoruba. It could have been Igbo. It could have been Hausa. It could have been the Nubians gods, the Kemetic gods, the doggone tribe. But none of them was worshiping things outside themselves. We worship the sun. Worship means to respect. And we venerated, which is a key word. We venerated the sun. We appreciated the sun for what it yields to us. Because if the sun is taken out the equation, such as life, life is taken out the equation. We appreciated, we worship water. So much so we personified water and made water into a being to make it relative so we can appreciate it through the context of the worship. Which is the worshipful part of ourselves, because water exists within us too. If there's no water and we take water out the equation, there's no life. We worship the air. So we personified it so we can speak about it in a context relative to humans to appreciate the conversation. But if we take air out the equation, there'd be no life. So when they say, oh, y'all idol worshiping, no. When you come to realize, we never worship a spook God. Everything we worship, we can see. And we even worship the black woman. And that's why they have these dome shapes on the buildings, which really represents the breast. And the top of the dome, even the White House, there's a little thing on top that represents the nipple. And that's why we have the obelisk that also represents the phallus. But it means tekken. And what's tek? That means that it means needle. And this needle was used to tell time. When the shadow is cast on the obelisk, the shadow is cast and it helps you navigate time throughout the day. They put metal or copper or gold on the top so it can be used as a lighthouse, so it can be a marker so people can know how to reach you. You see, everything we did was to worship a self. So when we put the phallus there, we was worshiping a part of ourselves, or the obelisk. When we created the mosque-looking shape on top of buildings, that was for the woman. We was appreciating the woman, the part of the woman that keeps us alive. The breast, the part of the woman that sustained us as children. The breast. We always worshiped ourselves. When you see Pepe, you see a little man who's really the pharaoh. He made himself little as a statue and made his mother gigantic. We venerated our women. We acknowledged our women. We worshipped our women. All world religions have their inception in the worship of the black woman, because she is the progenitor of society. Like it or not, you can teach us about Adam and Eve all you want. But I'm going to ask you, did Adam have a belly button? Because if Adam had a belly button, a black woman gave birth to him.